All right, welcome back to the podcast here. I got a special guest again, the sheriff himself.
Hey.
How you doing, Sheriff?
Well, I'm doing. It's been 2 days and I feel amazing.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, yeah. So let's have a quick recap. I don't want to talk about diet every podcast, but so you've been putting the advice to work. It's how's that working out for you?
Like I said, I feel great. Counting calories every day. I'm eating a lot better. I went grocery shopping today and dropped $75 in probably the healthiest food I've ever eaten in my life.
Damn right. You know what's even healthier than that? It's fucking abs.
Well, to an extent. I got a ways to go.
Soon.
Yeah, well, it's healthy for the girls, that's for sure.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so I figured we could kind of shoot the shit. And speaking of shit, I have a funny story to share.
Oh, please do tell.
About when I misspoke earlier. I didn't shit in my pants, okay? This happened when I was 16 years old.
Wait, hold up, back up. You shit your pants today? What's going on?
No, not today. No, or ever actually. Well,
I don't believe you.
One time when I was 15, but that's a different story.
Well,
okay,
so
anyways.
That's not never, but...
So when I was 16 years old, I just got into the boozing, right? Drinking the old hooch.
It happens.
And I was at my boy Compton's house, and this is the third time I had ever been drunk. So each time that I drank, I had just been pushing it further and further, you know, trying to test my limits. Just like, I'll slam this beer, I'll drink another one, whatever.
Now, hold on. Is this testing your, how much you can handle alcohol, or is this testing, how popular you're getting because of drinking alcohol?
Yes.
Okay.
Both. So, I think it was just Compton and I over there at his house getting fucking hammered. And, I don't know. We were drinking these things called Steel Reserve. You ever had that?
Probably once or twice.
It tastes like kryptonite is what it tastes like. It's
probably why I stopped drinking it.
It's my kryptonite. I just, as soon as I smell it, I start fucking gagging now. But either way, we were underage, so we got this girl, Rissa, to go get it for us. And so we got a fucking case of Steel Reserves. They're strong as shit. They're like beer on steroids. It's fucking terrible. So anyways, you know, I chugged one to the face, and I'm trying to be funny and sort of show off to Compton. And I was like, I'll chug another one right fucking now. He's like, nah, P, you don't got to do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it. You think I won't do it? He's like, I'm not saying that, you know. And I was like, fucking, I'll do it. So I fucking chugged another one. I woke up. I don't know what happened in between there. I woke up sitting in his car. And I'm just sitting there like, what is fucking happening? I mean, I'm just feeling so woozy. I had never been sick drinking before. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, dude. Oh, my stomach was killing me. I had to both shit and throw up at the same time right now. So I didn't know what to do. I was trying to figure out where the fuck I was.
I've honestly been in that position before.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't come out at the same time, but they came out very close to each other.
Oh, yeah.
So I understand.
Oh, yeah. We've been there. I've been there since then, unfortunately. But, so I'm looking out of this car, and I realize we're at his house, and we're parked out on the street. It's not that far, but he's got a pretty big yard. It's a decent little walk to his house. And I'm just like, what is fucking happening? How did I get here? And I got a shit right now. So I roll out of the car and I feel so sick. I'm crawling through his yard, fucking army crawling, trying to get to his house so I could get in there and use the bathroom. And I'm about halfway through his yard and I realize it's coming out right now. Most people would probably take a squat. That's what you would picture, shitting outside. But I felt so bad that I couldn't even sit up. So I was laying flat on my back and just kind of lifted my ass up in the air and fucking pulled my pants down a little bit, just shit all in his yard, and then just rolled away from it. Just rolled, just face down, just ass facing the stars, contemplating my whole life and how I got into this position. And, somehow I make it into his house. All right, there's no wiping, I have toilet paper out there. There's no wiping, nothing.
Well, yeah, if you're that drunk, I wouldn't wipe either.
So next morning I wake up feeling god awful still. Don't remember how I got into his house or what's going on. And, but yet again, guess who's got a shit? This guy. So I go into his bathroom. I go some more. I go to wipe my ass. There is so much dried up grass. And it's like a big clump of fucking slop. And it was all like petrified. Oh, dude, it's fucking disgusting. And not to mention, I'm trying not to throw up anyway, so it was a disaster. And so that's the first time I ever threw up drinking.
Good job.
Yeah, man.
Good job. I don't think I remember the first time I threw up drinking, which might explain the drinking part of it. I'm actually trying to think, because I started drinking when I was about 18. If you're listening to this, Mom, I'm sorry.
Oh, busted.
Yeah. But I think it was when I was 18. I was hanging out with some friends, and we were getting nice and shitty. And I'm pretty sure I woke up the next morning hugging his toilet. That's pretty much all I remember from that. Like I was just hugging his toilet. There were like piss stains everywhere. I was like, oh yeah, it was a weird moment.
Classic.
And that was one of those moments that like, oh God, I'm never going to drink again. Oh my God, I hate my life.
Next weekend.
And I was back at it again next weekend. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. But regarding shitting myself, I think the last time I shit my pants was when I was like 6 years old. And then it was so bad that I was like, I'm never fucking doing this again.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, because like people that I talk to, they claim to have shit themselves as adults like multiple times. Apparently it happens all the time. And last time it happened to me, I was 14 and it was a shart. I was a young man. I underestimated the power of the shart.
I've been thankful enough not to fall victim to a shart. Mm-hmm. Like it's come close before. I felt it coming, but I usually whenever that does happen, I usually find like 2 minutes to run to a restroom so that I can just let it out. But I've never fallen victim to that.
Oh yeah, I mean I've almost shit my pants fucking 50 times, but just dodging bullets, man. I've got another ass-related story to drinking, actually. All right. So now, a few years later, I'm a little more seasoned, but I still like to fucking party, right? So I think I'm like 21 at this time. I'm over at my boy Johan's house, getting fucking schwasted, and I get so drunk that I got to go lay down. I just got to go to sleep because I couldn't stay on my feet anymore. One of those kinds of drunks. And so I go into this spare bedroom. I go in there. There's nobody in there. I go in there and go to sleep and wake up the next day. My wallet's fucking gone. Can't find it anywhere. And, I'm trying to piece together what the fuck happened. And my boy Goods comes in there and he starts telling me all this crazy shit. And he's like, oh, yeah, we were all in here last night fucking with you while you were drunk. And I was like, oh, man, whatever. And I was like, well, damn, I bet that's why somebody stole my fucking wallet. Like they all were in here, probably saw it was in my back pocket and shit. And so then he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, we had these girls in here making out and shit while you were sleeping. I was like, whatever. Like, I knew he was full of shit. And he's like, yeah, we even had this one girl lick your ass while you were sleeping. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, I'm not believing that shit. So I go out into the living room and I start talking to Johan and I was like, geez, man, what happened? Like, apparently there was people like partying in that room while I was just passed out. And I was like, Goods is telling me some girl licked my ass. And Johan's just like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Oh my God. And I was like, what, that actually happened? What the fuck? And I was like, what happened? How did that possibly happen? He's like, dude, he's like, I can't remember the girl's name. I probably shouldn't say her name even if I remembered, but this girl's over there, some pretty grimy chick, I guess. And so they go in the room and he's like,
worse if she's grimy and
well,
she licked your asshole.
Well, I mean, a nice girl wouldn't do that, And
you'd be surprised. I've seen some weird shit in my time.
Well, that's a
they
good
would never
point.
do it to me because society is fucked up. But whatever.
Yeah, that's the reason. So I'm in there sleeping, and apparently Goods comes in there with this girl, and he's like, look, that's my best friend. And she's like, oh, yeah, whatever. And he's like, you should lick his ass. He just said it out of nowhere. That's almost weirder that he just came up with that out of nowhere. And then she's like, okay. And she fucking pulled my pants down and licked my ass. I never met that girl in my fucking life. She licked my ass while I was sleeping. How do you explain that?
Well, at least you got some.
I fucking guess, man. I don't know.
You know, you're always talking about how much you get the ladies. Yeah,
I do okay.
That adds to the fraction.
Ugh.
What you just described there.
Yeah, it's pretty. I felt violated, but it was like a funny story. But more than anything, my wallet was missing.
Yeah, it could be a problem. You think she stole it?
She's one of the leading candidates for sure. She was near the ass.
Now, did you ever find it?
I did not find it. Okay, to be fair, I found my wallet. It was under the bed, but my $200 was gone. That's actually what happened.
Oh, damn. Dude, that sucks.
But, I mean, at the same time, at least they left the wallet because I had my social security card and credit card and everything.
Could have lost a lot more than $200. At least it was just that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sketchy people at that party, though, and I didn't hardly know anybody. I just knew Goods and Johan, so.
I've been there before.
Yeah, so I didn't know that I needed to wear a fucking chastity belt on my ass so that nobody would try to fucking violate me while I was sleeping.
That probably could have helped. I was actually that guy hosting the sketchy parties my senior year of college. I've actually got one party I can recall where some real, it wasn't really sketchy shit, but it was a real interesting night. May I share?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had this party, and I had like a regionally famous, almost nationally famous DJ come through at the time, and you know, fucking DJ my house party.
Oh, that's fucking sweet.
Along with like me and like three other people. Like me and like three other people opened up for this guy at the end of that. This party went from like 9 p.m. until like 3 a.m. and the cops did not show up.
Wow.
It was...
You guys must have been partying like fucking bitches.
Well, no, actually there were like 250, 300 people there. So I was kind of concerned because it was just me and one other girl living in this house at the time. I had some people helping us out. But still, it was like, holy shit, there's like almost 250 people in my house right now. This is ridiculous. Like, but it snowed that night, which is probably why the cops didn't show up. So nobody was like complaining about anything. Everybody just kind of whatever.
Right.
So getting to the end of this party, like all the DJs do their thing. Everybody's having fun. Townies start showing up to the party. No, they didn't make it into the house, but it was kind of freaking everybody out. So people started to leave. Plus, it was getting late. It was like 2 a.m.
You say townies?
Oh yeah, we called them townies back in my college town. Basically, people who were from the city that our college was in instead of college students at that particular college.
Right?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they started showing up, and it was kind of freaking people out. They never actually made it into the house, but it was like 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. So I kind of started to shut things down anyway. It was getting late. I was getting tired, and there were a couple women waiting for me by that time. Basically, what happened was around like 1 a.m. I get a text message from a woman who's at this party saying, "Hey, I want to bang you when all this is over." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Just around 2 o'clock, go up to my room and wait for me. I will be there as soon as I shut all this shit down." 1:30 a.m. I get a text message from her again saying, "Hey, both me and my friend want to bang you when this party is over." Right? So I'm like,
yeah. Okay,
same rule applies. Go to my room at 2 and wait until all this is over. I will be up there to have a good time. So like I'm excited by this point, and then there's a third girl who comes along. She's at the party. She's fucking drunk, and like this girl and I, like we had been friends for a while in college. But I'm going up to her, making sure she's all good, and then she's like starts flirting with me and like, you know, whatever. And she's telling me to like come home with her and stuff. I'm like, oh God, like if you had been like 30 minutes earlier on that request, I would gladly do this. But
right.
You know, I've already got some commitments for tonight.
Sorry, I've already got 2 ladies lined up.
So she gets all disappointed and whatnot, but I'm like, maybe another night. I mean, if this is actually a sure thing, then I'm sure this will happen again. Plus, I was like having fun for that whole semester, so you know, it was bound to happen again. So everybody starts leaving, you know, people go home, everybody's drunk, whatever. And there's a few remaining people who are like good friends of me and my roommate that are sticking around, and we're all having a good time. We're all chatting, whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, you gotta go upstairs. And my roommate comes down in front of everybody. She's like, "Are there two girls supposed to be in your room making out with each other?" And everybody's like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, good for you." I'm like, "Yep, that's mine.
Yeah, they're waiting
that's
for
mine."
me.
So I go up there and I have a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Like,
how'd it go down when you went in there? What happened?
They were half naked making out with each other.
That's a good start.
Yep. So I'm like, all right, well, you got room for one more, and went for it. I won't get into grody details because it was basically a threesome. Just imagine a giant threesome with one guy and two girls. So it was a lot of fun.
So where's this third one come into play?
Well, okay, let me get to that. So literally as soon as the threesome finishes, as soon as we're all done, they get ready to go home. I get a text message from this third girl that was flirting with me at this party. It says, "Hey, I need you to come over. This guy came over and took advantage of me, and I feel super uncomfortable right now. Blah blah blah.
I need you to come do the same thing."
Well, let me get to that. So I'm like, "Oh well, shit! I can't ignore a rape call.
Right.
God damn it! I got to go check up on her now. Make sure she's all right." And so the girls go home. By this time, I've pretty much sobered up because sex kind of does that to you if you do it hard enough.
Good Lord.
So I hop in my car. I drive over to this girl's house or apartment, whatever the fuck it was. I go into her apartment, and in the apartment are scented candles lit. No lights, nothing whatsoever, just scented candles. Music,
and then
background
you
music
realize
is playing.
You got trapped.
I'm like, hey, so are you good? Like, is everything okay? You need me to stick around for a little bit? Right. She's like, yeah, I need you to stay here tonight. I feel super uncomfortable right now. I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay. So then I'm laying in bed with her, and then she's like, yeah, well, we can fool around a little bit. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So starts
after she got violated, she was still fired up.
No, okay, so the thing you said earlier about so I could do the same thing to her, right. Yeah, it was definitely a setup. There was no fucking way that she was raped by anybody. Right. The way the room was set up and just the attitude that she had as soon as I got there was no fucking way that was a true statement.
Did you perform a rape kit? Okay, how could you say that?
What?
How could you say that it didn't happen? All right, you're a misogynist fucking pig. Okay, to say that it didn't happen, you got no evidence.
This is 2017. Right. Don't fucking do this to me right now.
That's why I'm doing it. People are so sensitive.
But I'll finish the story. Yeah, there's no way that was a legitimate rape call. There was probably every 100% way that was a setup for me to come over there and fuck her brains out. Because that's exactly what happened by the end of the night.
that does happen. Yep.
So, I went home at 8 a.m. the next day, not wanting to stay at this girl's apartment, and I napped the rest of it off until 1 p.m. I woke up and I'm like, wow, I fucked 3 girls last night. Happy fucking Valentine's Day to me.
1's a lot, 2's a fuck ton. 3, oh man, that's epic, dude.
That was a record for me.
Yeah, dude.
Plus I was kind of dealing with a breakup thing at the time, so I was feeling great the next day.
The rebound triple smash.
Dude, it wasn't a relationship thing at all. It was literally just I'm going to fuck these girls and that's it. None of them want all of them pretty much understood no relationship factor in this.
Right.
So it was it was okay, I suppose. I mean, it is the modern years, so technically it might not be okay in somebody's eyes, but
I got no problem with it.
That's their problem, and they need to get over it. So,
all of my stories involve alcohol. Maybe I'm an alcoholic, and I just never realized it. So, we're at the fucking bar, getting hammered, and I'm striking out left and right with these chicks. Right, I tried to put the moves on fucking 50 of them, and it just they weren't going for it. And so eventually the bar closes at 2:00 or whatever, and so we go to get in a cab, and some drunk ass woman in her 40s, she comes stumbling up, and she's like, "Hey, can I go with you guys?" We're like, "Fuck yeah, get in," And
was she at least halfway, good looking?
halfway, maybe. You know,
Only halfway. Well,
Yeah.
okay, that's acceptable.
I mean, definitely nothing.
Were
to
you
brag
guys
about.
drunk enough to think that each other were good looking?
I don't know, man. I was pretty drunk, but I still wasn't thinking she was the prize. So either way, she comes back to the house with us, and we're hanging out. You know, I think there was 4 of us. It was me and Johan, and this one biatch who will not be named, and then this woman from the bar, and so we're all, you know, shooting the shit. Still sipping beers, whatever. Eventually, me and Johan start ripping our shirts off and flexing because he was getting real big into the bodybuilding
You guys
shit.
are fucking tools.
Yeah, exactly. And we were, you know, getting our flex on, trying to impress this strange woman that we just picked up from the bar. And then eventually we, you know, I think the biatch goes to bed, and so then it was me and Johan and this one chick, and I'm thinking we might Eiffel Tower this chick if we have to, you know, and hadn't done that before.
If we have to, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Well, because he wasn't quitting either, and I was thinking about getting it too. So I didn't know if either of us was going to back down. We might have to fucking tag team this thing here.
All
So
right.
anyways, eventually Johan, he was so wasted, he was like, "Fuck, I'm going to bed." So then I'm just sitting out there on the couch with this chick, and with mixed emotions because I'm like she got in the cab with strangers because that's what she was trying to do, right? I think she would have gone home with any other guy outside of that fucking place because I didn't even try to pick this chick up.
Now, did you bang her on the couch or in your bed?
No, because I didn't have a bed there, so it was just the couch, and I did what I had to do, and no regrets, man.
Did you use protection at least?
Fuck no, because I'm stupid.
Oh God!
I've learned a lot since then. Okay, this was early into my banging days, unfortunately, and but either way, I mean, yeah, she was 44, and I was just a young man. I mean, I was 23, I think.
44.
But
Wow, you know what? That's actually on my bucket list to bang somebody who. This is gonna sound weird. It's on my bucket list to bang somebody who's my mother's age.
that is weird.
That is kind of weird, but
No, I get it.
I
Yeah,
mean, you know, cougar. Hello, yeah.
Oh, I love a cougar. So yeah, okay, this is strange. Okay, the oldest woman I had slept with before her was like 21 or something, you know. So I slept with her 44, and then honestly, anytime I get laid like that, I'm like, all right, like that was awesome. I'm okay for another like month, you know. If I don't get laid for months, like whatever, I just bang that chick, whatever. The next day, we go to the bar again, and we go to a different bar, and you know, I was still just a horny fucking bastard like I always am. So I see some chick at the bar, and I go walking up to her, and I'm like, hey, you know, like I could use a partner. We're gonna play some pool, like if you're in. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, oh, really? Like I kind of thought
It was that easy.
I thought you were gonna say no. And so you know, some flirting commenced, and then you know we ended up being like, hey, you know, we got some extra beer at our place. Like, you guys want to come hang out? Because it was her and her friend, and me and Johan again. We were just
Oh man, you guys got
fucking
lucky.
animals.
You got 2 girls that were just there by themselves.
It gets crazier. No, they weren't by themselves. They were with this sketchy looking couple that were like in their 50s probably. And there's
Well, at least they weren't with 2 other guys that could
Right.
pass as their boyfriends, you know?
Exactly. So we end up getting these chicks back to Johan's house. We're partying, you know. I don't know what time it is, but I think it's still halfway early. It's like midnight or something. You know, there's still plenty of partying left. It's like on a fucking Saturday night or something. So we're doing our thing. The blonde girl, you know, the other girl ends up saying that she's got a boyfriend, so Johan's out, you know, again. He's like, fuck, you know, and I'm sitting there chilling with this other girl that we just met, and so and she kept bringing up how much money she makes. Like, she mentioned it like 5 times. She would say like, God, I made $100,000 this year. That's so crazy. And I was like, damn, that's what's up, you know. And then like, you know, a few minutes later, she's like, man, my career's really taken off. Like, I made a fucking $100K this year. I just can't believe that. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty badass. And then she said it again, and I was just fucking with her. It really didn't bother me, but she said it again, and I was like, what do you think, you're hot shit? And she was like, no. You know, I was like, it got awkward, you know, but she didn't say it again.
Defensive about that.
Yeah, and all right. So, anyways, I don't know, man. It's so crazy looking back on it. But we started like banging on the couch There were people like coming in and out. It's I don't know, man. We were fucking wasted. It seemed like a good idea. We had a blanket or whatever, and just I don't know, it was happening. And
now, were you guys like actually banging, or were you just like making out?
Oh no,
aggressively?
we was banging.
Okay,
for sure.
Because there's a difference between like the publicity of just like making out aggressively under a blanket and the actually fucking
penetration. Absolutely. And all right, so before that even happened, I had been out there talking to this older couple, and they seemed pretty cool. The guy, he seemed like a simpleton, to say the least, but he seemed like a nice fella, and, we talked about some old music and shit and old rock and roll and whatever. And so, an hour later, whatever, me and this chick have already hung out, hooked up, whatever, and then we were all hanging out again, and he was acting fucking crazy out of nowhere. Like he just like, I guess he's like a mean drunk or something. He just started acting fucking wild and was like pushing his wife around and stuff. And they were like, hey, take it easy, man. Let's just smoke some weed, man. Smoke some weed, which I don't smoke weed, by the way. But, I thought that maybe my friends had something there. So we're looking around and I find a bong, and so I give it to the guy. I'm like, hey, there you go, man. And he's like, he got a real crazy voice, and he's like, well, where's the fucking weed? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, I don't even smoke or anything. I thought you had weed.
I just have the paraphernalia.
And he's like, come on, man. And he fucking pushed me real hard. Like he got like real aggressive and like he was looking to fight or something. I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I'm helping you out. Like, but he was, he was in his crazy.
Now, were you shredded enough at this point to be able to kick his ass?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I would have, especially because he was all fucked up, I would have dropped him for sure. And and then he starts talking about like doing harder drugs, talking about coke and fucking crack, which apparently is also nicknamed hard. I never heard that before, and he's like, man, I'd do some toot, but I'd really rather have some hard. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Sounds like he wants some like serious dick in the butt.
I was like, who is this fucking guy?
I'd rather have some hard.
Yeah. I'd rather have some fucking hard, man.
Sounds like he's got one of those fucking tubes stuck in his throat, like he's been smoking forever.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's what you.
I'd rather have some hard. Yeah. Anyways,
so this guy is basically like he's like a pack a day smoker, and he likes butt sex. So
I think so.
All right.
I had a hunch, and so yeah, that was two chicks in a row. Because all right, I forgot to mention this. This is why I was bringing the story up anyways and got all sidetracked. But she was 34, so I went from 21 to a 44 and then a 34. Like in back-to-back nights. It's just the wildest shit.
Well, I think we found your chick type.
Hey, and it was funny because that girl, she was like, I bet I'm the oldest woman you've ever been with. And I was like, no.
Actually.
Like, yesterday you would have been, but yeah, I like to party, man. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, if you think about it, like, I mean, so you banged a 44-year-old and a 34-year-old at the time, of course. But if you think about it, like, you've reached the age range where like the age doesn't matter. Like if you were in high school and you pulled that shit, like, oh my God, I banged a freshman in high school. Like what the fuck? Right. Like it's weird when you're at that age, or like even in college, it's kind of weird to, be with somebody who's like way out of your age range in quotation marks. But like as soon as you like get a job and you're done with like school and stuff like that, it's just not weird anymore. It's this weird just concept of transition between the ages of hypothetically 22 and 23,
right?
God, I can't wrap my mind around it at all, because like I flirted with people who are anywhere between like 25 and 35 now. And I dated a girl who was 25, and that was weird for me. Like I had to get used to that.
yeah, man. I mean, I think the oldest woman I ever dated was, I don't know, 21 maybe? Because, I mean, I haven't dated a girl in four, going on 5 years, I think. Happiest I've ever fucking been, by the way.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you. Not being with somebody is, you get a lot of time to focus on yourself, I found.
Sure.
It's kind of nice. Although I do like having somebody around, it's also like I've learned how to,
Yeah.
Be with myself, I guess. I don't know. Have me time.
Right.
Masturbation time.
You fucking animal.
By the way, referring back to a comment I made earlier about banging somebody who was my mother's age, to be fair, my mother is still in her 40s. So if that kind of relieves any pressure.
Don't talk about relieving pressure. Disgusting.
Whatever.
Well, I see. Let's recap. We covered shitting.
A lot of sex stories.
Yeah, sex stories.
Drunk stories, partially drunk stories. I have plenty more of those if you want to keep talking about that.
I'm sure there's plenty of those that go around. Because I'm a fucking animal too.
We can talk about drug stories. Have you ever done any drugs?
Fuck yeah, big fan. Hallucinogenics in particular. Yeah, it can take a long time to wear off. I mean, like anytime I trip real hard, I usually feel weird as shit. Like the whole next day. Like
yeah, because if you think about it, a hallucinogen is just releasing a lot more like dopamine and serotonin, all the good chemicals of your body. It's releasing like pretty much every ounce of that you have. So you feel like absolute shit the next day when you wake up. You're just like, oh my God, I'm out of all good feeling. Like you just feel depressed. You feel like the world's all against you. Like nothing is good anymore. So you need a couple days of recovery after you do that, which is why I don't do it anymore, because I don't like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Feeling good all the time.
Like I love acid, especially because it's so cheap. And like, I mean, for fucking $5, you can have a real party, but you know, you better not have to work for the next couple of days. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to plan ahead on that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's not a spur of the moment thing like it was with you, unless like you're all off the next day. You know,
I got lucky because I still had a couple days until school started again, so I had a couple days to recover. It was okay, but still, like, I mean, I've had people invite me over to their place and be like, "Hey, dude, we're taking acid tonight. You wanna do it with us?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got fucking school tomorrow, or I got work tomorrow. I gotta do shit. Do shit now. I can't do this right now. Like, I can't afford."
See, but shrooms. You could do. Shrooms is short.
I've been afraid to try shrooms.
Oh, why?
Because
dude, acid is way more intense than shrooms, typically.
I don't know what it is. I've heard good and bad stories about shrooms, and the 50-50 balance just makes me like worried that I'm going to get the bad 50, you know?
I've heard bad stories, but it's almost like, just like you said, you know, like I'm always hearing somebody say like, oh, well, I've heard this and that, but like nobody's ever told me like, yeah, I had a bad shroom trip. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I've been around people that have done it a bunch. I've done it a handful of times, had a fucking blast every time, and just been like, why don't I do this all the time? It's great. And it only lasts like 4 hours. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if you weren't having a good time, you can get over it. We're like, acid, dude, if you're having a bad acid trip, you might have to ride it out for like 12 fucking hours. Like, I've had friends that happened to before. And, but yeah, man, and shrooms, like, it just kind of like wears off slowly, you know? Like, you're peaking there for a couple hours or whatever, just having a fucking ball. And then it just kind of starts getting a little bit easier and easier. And I know every time I've done shrooms, when it started kind of wearing off, I always thought, I don't want it to end. This is so much fun. Whereas with acid, it's usually like, you know, 6 hours in, I'm like, Jesus, dude, like, I'm fucking over this. Like,
when is this going to end?
Yeah, like, I can't sleep, you know, like, I just want to fucking get back to normal. I'm like, you're only halfway done, bud. You know, like, you better fucking settle in.
That's kind of how it was for me that night. I was like, by the time we got to the cornfield, me and my other buddy who weren't freaking out were just like, what the fuck, man? Can we just, can we like normalize ourselves now? Like, get back to reality for a minute.
So yeah, first time I ever did acid, I took one hit, and here's the thing, I've done it multiple times and had much different sources, much different quality. The first time I did it, I think it was like decent stuff. I only took one hit because, I don't know, I just didn't want to fucking risk it. You know, I was kind of scared, honestly. I'd heard plenty of bad stories about acid. And, but my boy Tone, he took two of them. He took 2 hits. And, so the rest of us, I think, all took one, and, you know, we were having a blast, and it was really mild, you know, like, we were kind of like, man, does that look funny to you? Like, I swear, I feel fucking weird, like, you know, body buzz, and, like, I don't know, we were just getting, like, nerding out on the stars and
the body buzz
shit
is
like
amazing,
that.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, but my boy Tone, he took 2, and his was, like, very visual and intense, and, like, he couldn't get it to stop, and he was he started having a really bad time because he and I weren't that great of friends, but I was his best friend there, you know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like, yeah, you can hang out with us, not realizing, like, he's around a bunch of strangers, you know? And so he starts, like, really tripping, and we're kind of, like, laughing at him, you know, because it was funny because he's over there waving in the fucking space and looking at his hand, freaking out, you know? We're like, look at him, he's really tripping. And so then we're all sitting on the couch, like watching TV or whatever, and I'm just feeling fucking weird. I'm just like in my own head. I'm rubbing my chin. I remember I just kept rubbing my chin. I was just fucking like, you know, like feeling my little fucking hairs on my chin, and just, I don't know, I just was thinking about shit. And out of nowhere, he's like sitting right next to me. He's like, you better quit rubbing your chin or I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. And he's like a real big dude, and I was really small, you know, and like, especially on acid, dude, it freaked me out so fucking bad. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, where'd that come from, you know? And so then, like, right after, he's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And I was just like, no, that's cool, man. But I was really like, I gotta get the fuck away from this guy. Like, he's getting crazy, you know? So we all went out on the balcony, and we left his ass sitting inside. And we were, like, looking through the window at him, which I'm sure made him even more paranoid, because then he, like, every time he would glance up at us, we're all staring at him and shit, you know. So then he started thinking we were all out to get him, and he was having a real bad time. I even, like, took him upstairs and, like, had him sit down in my room and just was, like, talking to him, like, dude, you're gonna be fine, you know. I was like, dude, you've known me for years and years, like, I got you, man. I'm not gonna let anything happen to you. Like, you really got nothing to worry about, you know. And he was like, well, yeah. He's like, he's like, you've always been good, Pistol, right? He's like, but what if you're really bad, Pistol? And I was like, I don't even know what to say to that, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I'm just me, man. I got no reason to do anything to you. And he's like, dude, I swear. He's like, they're going to come upstairs right now. They're going to try to fucking kill me. Watch. He's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't take all of them. And I was like, don't try to take any of us. All right. Like, nobody's going to bother you, you know? And, so eventually it started wearing off for the rest of us. We were feeling like pretty much normal. Shit still looked kind of funny, but, you know, I don't know. It was about worn off. So we're like, yo, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, yo, let's go to fucking Bojangles. It's right up the street, walking distance. And, you know, we're like, hey, man, you should get out in the sun. Like, come on with us, you know. He was not ready to go. But, you know, we talked him into it. So he goes with us. We go walking up to Bojangles. And we're sitting there eating our food. And I'm, like, eating my biscuit. Like, man, this is a good fucking biscuit. Like, I'm really enjoying this. What a good night, whatever. And Tone is sitting there eyeballing everybody in the fucking restaurant. He's looking around, just gritting his teeth, and everybody's looking at him like, something wrong with that fucking
Now, when
guy?
you say everybody, do you mean like people in the restaurant or just like you and your friend group?
No. Like everybody, there's like old people in there and like a bunch of strangers, and everybody's looking over like, what the fuck's this kid doing? Just fucking gritting his teeth at me and staring me down, you know? Like he's just like ready to pick a fight. Like who's gonna fucking make a move, you know?
Oh,
so he didn't eat his biscuit at all. He was like too nervous to fucking eat. So I was like, whatever, dude. I was like, let's go back to my house. So we go walking outside, and this old lady opens the door and is like, oh, here you go. You know, I was like, oh, thank you. So we're walking, and I'm like, yeah, man, so whatever. And I turn, he's not there, and I look back, and he's there talking to the old lady. So I go walking back to him, and he's like pulling his lip up and trying to show her. He's like, look what they did. Look at they knocked all my teeth out. Look at it. They knocked all my teeth out. And she's just like, she didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. You know, she's just this little sweet old lady.
Oh boy.
And I was like, I'm sorry. He's fine. And he's like, they're going to get me. They're going to get me. And fucking just walked away with me. And I'm sure that lady was like, should I call the cops? Like, oh my God, you know? And, but then he would not leave Bojangles parking lot. He would not go back to my house with me because he said we were all going to kill him as soon as we got there. So, he would not leave. We had to call his best friend's girlfriend to come pick him up because that was the only person he would trust. He's like, she's the only one. I'm not going any fucking where. All right. He's like, I'm not going to die today. And I was just like, Jesus, dude. Like, you're not going to die at all today. Like, just fucking come hang out, man. Just take a nap, you know? And, so I know for a fact you can have a bad acid trip. I mean, I've had a bunch of friends tell me about bad acid trips. My friend Compton, like, he's done some really fucking hard drugs, and like, I mean, I think almost everything, really. And I remember him telling me about him doing acid for the first time, and he was standing out by the water because he had like a little creek going through his, like, behind his house, and the fucking dude from Texas Chainsaw Massacre came up out of the water with a fucking with a chainsaw, and chased him through his fucking yard. And he's like, I know this isn't real, but like he hears it, he sees it. The fucking dude's coming for him.
Dude, your brain will do some weird shit to you when you've got some chemicals in it.
So he goes and runs up in his room and locks the fucking door. And he said he sat there for like 8 hours just fucking crying hysterically. And every time he would look over at the door, he would see like, cutting through the fucking door. And he was like, and he'd look up again and be gone. And he was just like, fuck. Like he just was losing his mind. You know what I mean? Like I almost think that kind of experience could like, I don't know, like cause some kind of trauma, Like if you really lived through that, it would cause trauma. And it's almost like you're really living through it, so.
Well, I mean, that's why I kind of don't want to, like, touch hallucinogens again. Like, even shrooms, anything from shrooms to acid, really, because I don't really enjoy knowing that I'm going to see things that just aren't there, because then, like, if it's really good, crap,
Right.
Fuck, I missed out on something really cool. But if it's really bad, then like, oh my God, I'm fucking traumatized now,
Right. Yeah, it's dicey. But then again, shrooms is so short. You could have a bad time for like 2 hours maybe, you know what I mean? Like you'd be fine. Like, but I'm telling you, it's been fucking 10 out of 10 blast every time I've done it and just been like, oh my God, so fun. Things are so fucking funny and look funny. And the hardest I ever tripped, I was out in Charlotte with my boys. We took a big group out there. We had like 6 people or something. And this was with Compton again, actually. And I'm sitting there. There's like 3 of us hanging out in the room or something. And, we're like laughing about shit. And my boy Goods, he turns and he's like, dude, I have never heard you make that noise in my life. At which point I realized I was going, just like a fucking maniac. I never made that sound in my life either. I was laughing so hard, but like a little girl or something. It was just fucking crazy. At which point I was like, hey. I was like, dude, I am fucked up. What is happening right now? And like eventually Goods went to bed because I think it was only like 2 of us that were tripping. And it was me and this dude, Brennan, who I never met in my fucking life. And we were bros for life after that night. Me and this guy hugged each other and laughed and cried all fucking night. Total strangers. But like we were going through something together, you know what I mean? He was tripping hard as fuck and I was just hanging on him like, we're going to fucking make it, man. Me and you, we're going to make it to the fucking end. He's like, yeah, brother. I'm like,
That'll happen.
Fucking crazy.
I've had a couple nights like that, mostly with weed and alcohol, though. I never had one with weird drugs.
Yeah, buddy. Because here's the thing. All drugs should be legal and it should be decriminalized, if anything. So maybe you get a fine.
Have this discussion right now?
Well, I'm just saying, I have no problem discussing this, especially, I haven't done anything in quite a while anyways. And especially, I feel like if it does not affect your, other areas of your life, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want, From fucking weed to fucking heroin to fucking steroids to fucking...
See, that's where I'm going to have to
whatever.
argue. That's where I'm going to have to argue with you a little bit.
Bring it.
See, weed, I understand. Weed, I think, definitely should be legal everywhere. I think it should be federally legal. Mostly because weed does not really... weed's not addictive. Okay. Exhibit A, I've smoked weed for like 5 years, and I don't do it anymore because I don't feel the need to do it anymore.
Right.
And it wasn't even a need to do it. It was just like, okay, well, I'm doing this because it's fun, and now I'm doing it. I'm not doing it anymore because it's whatever. But like, there's so much crap. There's so many arrests in this world just because of weed possession and distribution that could be focused on like actual crimes like murder and burglary or assault or rape or whatever. The big problems of this world, humans harming other human beings. Weed is a victimless crime.
Right.
And the term victimless crime really kind of rings in my ears at that point. Like, why the fuck isn't it legal? It literally doesn't have any victims. The only victim it might have, in quotation marks, is yourself, if you let it affect you that way.
Okay, so what drugs do you think should be illegal?
Heroin, definitely, just because I've seen the things heroin can do to people. I think, and really, heroin's one of those kind of chain reactions thing that, like, the only reason people do heroin is because it exists. So, if it just didn't exist altogether, and if there was no way to make it, if it was just off the streets, then less people would die because of it.
Well,
I've had friends of friends pass away because of heroin overdoses when nobody was there for them,
right?
You know, to like help them out, get them to a hospital.
Well, I mean, it does exist though, right? And it's not going to be off the streets because right now it's highly illegal and it's all over the fucking place. So,
I mean, yeah, there's no way to stop that, I guess, but still, it's...
So I think maybe just don't put all the drug addicts in prison, you know? I mean, I'm biased because, you know, obviously with my family situation, but I always felt that way before that too, you know? I think it's a real bad idea to do those kind of hard drugs, you know, and even risk getting addicted and all that. It's just fucking nonsense. But, you know, if you do and you become addicted, you know, then going to prison doesn't do you any good. I mean, it just fucks everything up, you know? You become a burden on the system. And actually there's a bunch of countries doing it, but I think it's Switzerland. They have a heroin clinic where, like, all the heroin addicts, they can literally just walk into this office and go get a dose of heroin. They'll shoot them up right there. Clean needles, you know, no infections. People aren't getting fucked up from that. And it's actual real heroin. It's not got a bunch of crazy shit in it that can, you know, give you a fucking heart attack. And, you know, people go in there, they wait in line, they get their fucking shot, and then they go to work, you know, and they're productive citizens. No crime at all. There's no heroin crime because you can just go get it. Everybody gets it legally. And then, you know, after work, if you need another one, you go in there, you wait in line, you get one, you go home, you know.
Well, I guess the inline question then is, what productivity does heroin bring to the body other than just good feeling?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be an incredible pain reliever, you know. Like, I think that's kind of why they started, like, making it, you know, in the first place.
It just numbs you out. Yeah,
like to treat illnesses, you know. And it works great for that. But, you know, also very addictive because feeling good, you know, apparently people want to do it all the time. So,
well, it like tricks your body into thinking that that's the way you need to feel all the time, basically. So,
right.
The heroin's a physical addiction.
Right.
I mean, weed, I guess the biggest difference between that is weed can be more of a mental addiction than a physical addiction. And that's why it's easier to overcome, in my opinion. I mean, not like cigarettes where you're, like the difference between cigarettes and weed is like nicotine is a substance that kind of stays in your body.
Right.
For a long period of time. Not that THC doesn't, THC does, but it's just not generally as addictive as nicotine can be.
Right.
So therefore the physical addiction is just not there with weed. Forgive me if I sound like an idiot to some people who are weed experts out there, but this is just kind of
I think that all makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, I quit cigarettes like almost 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm off that, by the way, if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Good for you.
Yeah, almost. What is today? The
18th.
18th. 18 days actually to the day.
Hey, nice, dude.
Yeah, it was one of the many New Year's resolutions, along with getting my life changed around.
Getting fucking ripped.
Exactly. But I mean, the cigarette addiction, it's hard for the first week because the physical addiction is still there. So like for the first week, I was just like, oh my god, I really, really want one right now. But
right.
like, you just gotta like, that's where your mind comes in, mentally fight it off, and that never happened with weed.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I really want to smoke pot right now. It was always like, I could smoke pot right now, but I don't want to.
Right. Yeah, well, let's see you give up fucking sexual stimulation for 90 days.
Oh, you mean jacking off?
That, no looking at porn, no sex, nothing.
See, it's back to the whole victimless thing. It's not even a crime to jack off. It's just victimless at that point. Like, the only person I'm hurting is I'm not even hurting myself. I'm making myself feel good by jacking off.
Sort of, but I mean, I would really argue that that's a real addiction. I mean, because people ruin their lives over it too. I mean, you know, it can really get extreme. I mean, there's all kinds of people that get divorced and shit and, you know, blah, 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 all kinds of crazy shit. And
well, you could argue the addiction factor of it. I mean, because
just the thought of it, it's fucking insane, right? You're like, dude, I couldn't do it. Like, I could not fucking do that, you know? Like, people... Like,
stop jacking off?
Yeah. And no sex either, nothing.
Well, no, I mean, I can think about not doing it. Of course I can think about not doing it. Like,
I mean, do you think you could do it?
It's possible, but, like, the process behind it is, like, so you jack off because, you know, you constantly... Like, the body was meant to procreate, right? That's that's the body's natural tendency is to procreate.
Right.
So you want to fucking jizz. You know,
right.
It just once you get past that stage in your life, you just want to jizz all the time. Like, well, it's just what you're meant to do.
I would sort of disagree. Okay, I think that if I'm willing to bet that like over 90% of people would not masturbate nearly as much, like probably a fraction of as much as they do if they didn't have high-speed pornography. Because that's an artificial stimulation. Like it gets to the point where people like never masturbate without it anymore. You know, you always have to have this screen going, and you're flipping, looking for something exciting, whatever. And I'm into that, and you know, whatever. I watched that one yesterday, whatever. And you know, you really like a lot of times you might be flipping through that, not even erect. You know, like you're not actually horny. You know what I mean? It's like you're a dopamine addict. That's what it is, because like sexual release causes this crazy dopamine spike, right? And that is very addictive. I mean, that's I don't want to. I could rant about that for fucking ever, but
no, you know. Yeah, it makes sense, the whole pornography thing, because like half the time I jack off, it's because of porn anyway. So.
Right, you know, I was there for a long time where like I really wasn't horny, but I would just be like, that would be fun. Because it's fucking awesome. Like, yeah, it's right there. It's just, I can fucking reach it right there. It's a party in my pants, right? So you flipping through the porn, whatever, and you find something like, oh, that's the fucking one, you know? And, but you wouldn't have done that if you didn't have high-speed pornography, right? If anything, you probably would have masturbated less and had more actual sex because you would have gone out and talked to women instead of staying home and fucking jerking off.
I see the theory behind that. That's yeah. I mean, that does make sense. But I can think of probably a percentage of the times I've jacked off in my life where it hasn't been to porn. Right. It's just been because I've been thinking about good things that might happen. And
see, and that's
just you know, it's there.
Right. See, and I think it's totally natural to masturbate to the idea of like sleeping with some woman that you've been checking out or whatever, or even like thinking about a past experience. But I think that having access to so much visual stimulation has caused people to have a link with their sexual arousal to visuals, to the point that like you might have to close your eyes and like really think about this or think about, you know, the woman with this or whatever. And it's like, that's bizarre. That's not how it's supposed to be.
No. It's true. It's true. Because I've had times where I'm like going for it, and like I'm literally just I'm literally
like
just
not
like
into
sitting
it.
there. I'm looking at just random things around my room. I'm just like, okay, I was thinking about this like 5 minutes ago,
right?
But like now that I'm not thinking about it, you know, and it's just good fucking goes dead, you know.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I would challenge you to, if you're not gonna give up fapping in general, I would say
give up porn.
Give up all visual stimulation. Do it for 2 weeks and just do it as an experiment to see, like, I bet you won't be half as aroused. You'd be like, dude, I did it like twice all week or whatever.
What if I just don't do it at all?
I don't know what I don't know what normal is. Like I know when I used to watch porn all the time, I mean, I would masturbate probably an average of once a day. But like now it's like it's much more rare. So I mean, I did it once during this podcast, just right here. No, but
you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Even though I am looking at you, I've got a funny feeling you've got like ways of hiding that.
Like right now, no.
Yeah, you're fucking doing it.
Yeah, man, you got to do what you can do. But
we should wrap this up by talking about what our favorite types of porn are, since I'm not going to be watching porn anymore.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Here's the thing. I really dislike the idea of it. You know, I don't like a lot of things about it, and I know the problems that it can cause and all that, but it's good. It's so good, dude.
It's good to watch, but like I've researched porn stars and like what they think of the whole porn industry. Most of them fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, it's fucking terrible. You know, this scene that you saw sliced together took them hours and hours of shooting. The guy's shooting fucking drugs into his cock to keep it up, and it's like, it's just fucking bizarre. It's like, what is actually happening here? You know,
I've actually seen some. I've actually watched some porn scenes where you can like tell he's going flaccid or she's going dry, and they're like they're like literally just acting.
Right.
And at that point, like you can tell because it like fades to another cut of a different take.
Right.
That they did, and it's just like, oh man, okay, that probably took like 3 hours for them to get done.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and the scenes, like, don't get me wrong, I like kinky stuff, like, see, even then, when I say kinky, my idea of kinky is like not really kinky at all. It's like I like the idea of like, you know, banging my hot teacher or whatever, you know, that I like, that's cool, or like I don't know, any fucking woman, you know, like whatever, just count me in, but you know, like,
it depends on the woman. There are certain women out there that I'm not visually stimulated by.
Oh, of course, yeah, that's not what I mean either. But there's all sorts of just exotic things, the fucking stewardess or, you know, the nurse, whatever. There's all those classics. I'm a big fan of all those. But
if you had to name one porn that was your favorite, the one like the go-to porn video that you would watch, what would it be?
There's a lot of good stuff, but I'd probably have to say like if I got one video, it's got to be a compilation, I would think, right? Which is very unnatural, by the way, too. I'm very against that.
A compilation of like the same type of porn?
Right.
Okay.
Right, like a compilation of like fucking big wet booties.
Okay.
That'd be up there in the ranks for sure.
Okay.
Big fan.
I mean, trust me, there's no way I can like judge you about what kind of porn you watch. Like everybody's got their own type. For example, I do enjoy a compilation of a certain type, but the videos I usually go to are romantic videos, particularly massage.
Really?
I love watching
seduction.
Yes. Like romantic
I like that
seduction.
too. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like something about watching somebody get rammed from behind, it just kind of turns me off. I don't know what it is. Right. I don't mind doing that to a woman, but I don't like watching it. I think it's just weird.
Right. No, I got you. Yeah, I kind of like that too. I like the whole seduction aspect, and I don't know. It's like it seems a little more natural. Like, not that like you're gonna be banging the, you know, chick that's giving you massage. Probably done that before, by the way, but it wasn't at like a massage parlor. It's just some girl that wanted to give me a massage. Either way, but I like the seduction, and it's like slow. It's more natural than just like, you know, the guy comes in with a pizza box and then they just drop their clothes. I refuse
to watch those porn videos. I came across one that was like some girl, like she was looking up porn or something, and like her internet shut down in quotation marks. So the internet dude came by sometime that day, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I was researching dicks." And so of course, what's gonna happen? You know,
he's like, "Oh yeah, how about you do some fucking research right here?" Yeah.
It was so weird. I hate
totally
those
natural
porn videos. You can tell they're such horrible actors and actresses. But like the massage stuff, like they don't even say anything to each other. It's just literally they're actually giving each other massages. It's totally fucking real, you know, for the most part.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
But that's what I enjoy about it, is it seems totally real, and for the most part, it is, because there's actual oil involved, and you know, I like that.
Oh, you like it, do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. I guess we should fucking wrap it up here. All right, thanks for tuning in, gang. Talk to you soon.
Cool. Later.
It was then that I decided that I needed to try to change my life. And a tiny seed of change was planted deep inside me.
Miyagi with the samples, man, chopped them like judo. The safe and non-flowing dog, you trying to make me Cujo. Killing all these rappers, a little something for the new folks. My rhymes are 23, the shit and beats will be my crew coach. My mind is Phil Jackson, I whip them into action. That triangle offense shit, we can make it happen. Take it to the bank like we shooting off the glass in. My English ain't right and neither is the backspin. Damn, yeah, that's some clever ass shit. Your boy trying to be the king, thrones wherever I sit. Say you don't care what I spit, but others sharing my hits. Feel like I'm destined for the game, but I don't know where I'd fit. I think that most rappers are fucking lame, and I don't really like you. Your rhymes don't do it for me, blame it on my IQ. Yeah, I got them straight A's for the paydays, and it's safe to say I'm really on the way. It's like every day my doubt's fading away, damn. If it's survival of the fittest, then you know I'm finna win this. Never stop until it's finished. Never be defeated by another when it's heated. A famine, a feast, gaining weight the way I'm eating, so. And that's my mind state on a blind date. Just can't relate to the fools I hate. I got shit to say when it's face to face. It's cool though, I knew y'all wasn't real at all. Nah, I had to burst your bubble, boy, Jake Gyllenhaal. And Danny boy making movies, so I'm trying to fill his shoes a little loose the way I'm moving, no. Cutting out the stupid flows, mad folks I used to know, cause I was playing studio when y'all was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I had that 4-track on the flow back in my dad's room when he so cracked. That same shit that I hold back. Feeling like I should've done something different. Now his ass is locked up for 8 and I fucking miss him. Deep shit and true feelings, I'm revealing facts. Y'all be on that money in the air, I ain't feeling that. It's whatever though, to each his own. Got me feeling 1 in a million, trying to reach these clones. Same old, they never listen to me. It's about time to accept they never see what I see. So keep your shades on, nothing fish in the sea. And I'ma catch you with the hook like my name was Ali. Go.
I'll never forget the moment that I realized that I understood that I could create